Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Yeah, so I have fallen into the personal loan trap.
Uh-oh. Well, the good news is my co-host today is George Campbell.
Oh, boy. I'll see if I can pull you out of the well.
He wrote an entire book about this. Be aware of the traps.
That's right. If you fall for the trends, you fall for the traps.
There it is. His signature quote. What's going on? Why are you falling for these traps?
Man, it's so easy, it seems like.
Oh. So easy to do what?
To go into debt?
No, to fall for the predatory stuff like interest rates and stuff.
Okay, but what happened? What did you take out debt for?
So I got a trip actually last year in July with my mom to Boston, and it was a 4th of July trip, and I took out a loan for that.
That sounds like it's on you. I don't think you fell.
Yeah,
I think you jumped voluntarily.
How old are you, Dylan?
I am actually 40. I turned 40 in February.
So a 40-year-old man decides to take his mom to Boston for July 4th. I mean, I get it because I like history, but I mean, that's like, like, how are we taking out a loan for that? That's not like a big deal, like that big of a thing. You could have saved up for that. Am I right?
Right.
How much did you take out?
$11,000.
Goodness gracious.
Would you sit in the front row of the Boston Pops?
No.
What were you doing for $11,000 in Boston for July 4th?
So I used it for other stuff.
There we go.
Oh, here we go.
Dylan, we got to be honest with each other if we're going to make this relationship work. Is that fair?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. So how much total debt do you have?
About $30,000.
Okay. And what do you make a year?
I make 85,000 was what I made last year.
Okay. And what kind of debt is the 30? You got 11 in the personal loan?
It's all personal loans.
All personal loans. Why is that?
The interest rate.
Did you not? Yeah, but like a credit card, did you not have any credit cards? Like, I'm just curious why you went personal loans all the way.
No, I don't have credit cards at all.
Okay.
He draws the line there.
You draw the line. So what's the interest rate on all this debt?
It's quite a bit, actually. I looked at it, one was like 300%.
That's what I'm saying. These are not like personal loans from your credit union. These are like payday loans.
300%? I'm dizzy.
Why did you darken the door of a payday lender?
I don't know.
Like you actually drove to the payday lender and went, yep, this is it. This is where I'm going to get some money.
I think I know what it is, Dylan. Can I take a stab?
People.
Can I take a stab as what's going on? Because this is how you started the call. You kind of started the call kind of going, you're presenting as a guy who feels like he's unable to fight the temptation of these type of loans. That's the way you present it. Is that a fair analysis?
That is fair.
Okay, great. So it feels like the reason, based on what evidence you've given us so far, is you just get this spontaneous hair, this idea of like, ooh, I want to do this, or this will be fun, and you don't have the cash for it. And so you just decide, wow, let's just go get some loans right now, and I'm going to go do this and figure it out later. It sounds like it's that simple. You can't control your impulses. Is that right, or am I wrong?
His dogs are barking, I'll tell you that much.
Yes, they are.
Dylan, did I just stump you there?
No, I'd say you're right.
Okay. Well, here's the deal. We can't solve the current debt if we don't stop going into debt. And so can you make a truce with me and everyone listening right now that you are not going to touch another dime in debt?
Yes.
You're not going to go, you're never going to be in the parking lot of a payday lender ever again. Agreed?
Agreed.
Okay. Because right now it's like the hot light is on at Krispy Kreme and you can't help yourself but stop in and get a few dozen. And we have to stop. We got to get to the root of what's causing that. I don't know if it's something you're running from, if there's a vice in your life, but a guy making $85K in Oklahoma should have a pretty good life. Don't you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you told 15-year-old Dylan, like, hey man, one day you're going to be making $85,000.
Yeah.
And yet here you are going into debt instead of being able to just save up and pay cash for things.
I think you're profoundly sad about your life. That's what I think.
Is there truth to that?
Yes, there is truth to that.
And you're using this sort of these loans as therapy to try to go, if I can just have this as a coping mechanism and buy more stuff and take more trips,
I think that's what's
I'll
going
distract
on.
myself.
Yeah, and Dylan, I just felt that. and I was willing to take a risk there. And I don't say that to shame you, but I think you need some therapy. I really do. I think you've got to get to the bottom. See, anytime somebody does something like this, it's only a manifestation of something else. It's the symptom. It's not the problem. And it just sounds like you just need something to medicate the sadness or an uneasiness, a lack of satisfaction. And I think if you can reframe that with some help through a professional, I'd call BetterHelp. I really would.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd start there. And it's affordable, it's convenient, and I'd start figuring out what's going on there, because a phone call with George and I isn't going to snap you out of this, if I can be completely honest with you. Because the temptation is going to present itself tomorrow or the next week, and quite frankly, you're not going to be hearing George and I's voice. You need to get to the bottom of this thing and begin to see, oh, I've got some pain, and if I can get healing on that, then all of a sudden I'm not tempted by this medication in the form of these trips or whatever it is you're doing where you go get quick money to get a quick high, the quick high of life. And I think that's what's going on. I hope that encourages you. But I think that's what you need to be dealing with right now. George, I want to give you a thought.
Well, we can hit the financial piece, and I'll send you some resources, including my book, Breaking Free from Broke, that'll walk you through all of this and give you some encouragement. We'll put you through Financial Peace University if you're willing to join a local class and go week after week for 9 weeks with a group of people who also have made dumb money decisions. Would you do that?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so after the call is done, we'll get you on with Christian, and he'll hook you up with those resources. Let's talk about the debt for a second. What is your smallest current balance?
It is like $500.
Okay, and I assume you got nothing in checking and savings right now. I
have $100 in. So I have a credit union as well with the company.
Okay.
And I have like $200 in there.
But you're still you're living just down to the bone, down to the wire every single week.
Right.
So the way to get out of this is we need to cut our spending down to nothing and increase our income. So can you work overtime? Can you take on side hustles in order to get your income up in the short term?
Yes, I've signed up for overtime.
Great. So here's the deal. Once you have that $500, we're going to just throw everything we can at that next smallest debt, because the problem with these payday loans is they grow like a cancer because of the interest. As you've seen, it's hard to get out of them. It's why it's a cycle that we see a lot of low-income neighborhoods. It's why payday lenders sit there, because they're willing to take your $100 and they're going to get $100 out of you by the time the month is over. And so you got to attack these things aggressively to get rid of them. And if you do that debt snowball method, you can get out of 30 grand making 85. It's going to take a lot of sacrifice. It's probably the next 18 months of your life is going to just look like work, no time to spend, no time for trips. And
okay.
Do you have anything you can sell? Have you bought any toys, items that you could sell to help get rid of this debt?
No.
You owe nothing to your name?
Just a car, but it's paid off.
Okay, good. Well, that's the plan, man. Hang on the line. Christian's going to pick up. We'll send you a copy of my book, Breaking Free from Broke. We're going to send you Financial Peace University, go through all 9 lessons, and get some professional help where you can get to the root of what's going on here. Because I agree with Ken. If we don't get to the root of it, we're just going to stay in the cycle.
Yeah, I agree. And I got a weird feeling like the pup was agreeing with us. You know?
I do feel like
Did
that.
you feel that? That was like the pup was in the background going,
Ken's onto something.
amen, amen. You know, I think the dog is feeling the anxiety as well. These dogs, they can feel things.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.